that I have received in the mail from The Economist. And we'll do a short comment, a bit of analysis of an article here about Lebanon. Begging for help. No one trusts Parliament's plan to aid the poor, they said. So that's the article. So I wonder what's going on in Lebanon. So I will see here if it's on live. Yeah. So it's going on here on Facebook Live. So I will do it short and sweet. I'm planning on doing it at 9 a.m. Central European Time. But I have been up early in the morning, very early or late night, you could say. It's been so hot and warm. Maybe not as hot as in Lebanon, but it's hard to sleep during the night. So I've been up and been tinkering and thinking about this, checking the magazine. So that's how it is, and I will probably come back to another article here later today or later in the week. Maybe it will be on special one extra on Sunday, and I have done a new episode after my trailer of my new pod, High Five for Hemp. They are writing about High in the Mountains, a push to legalize some marijuana cultivation warriors farmers, and that's in cannabis in Morocco. So I'm following with what's going on in the medical marijuana space and the cultivation, and also the, you could say, red tape, bureaucracy, and legislation and laws and so on around the world. Cheers. Here in the morning, I have taken a couple of drops of CBD oil, natural thing. So with 2% of this cannabinoid to see the balanced system here. And I will talk more about this in my podcast, High Five for Hemp. And I'm wearing this cap, Egonetcast. Now, since I last podcast, I have published at last a new episode, and that was titled Gone Fishing After Independence Day. I haven't published a new episode since January due to different things. Now I'm back on track, and I also published a new issue of my newsletter, Lyceum Bulletin, and now I will do it every week newsletter, and on Egonetcast I will do it every month. A spotlight on a guest, for example, from Bit Sugar, and some other guests, and also some commentary and my thoughts about podcasting and podosphere, like once a month, due to the thing that I'm involved in. Almost, I think, 25, at least 20 podcasts out there. And like a follow-up or throwback, since I did Three Things Tech. So I said I want to have three things. It doesn't have to be three things. It could be 1, 2, 3, but 3 is a good number. But I learned from a webinar with Mike Wardy that he has something called free mail. So I'll come back to that also. So three things. So I talked about the RSS feed. What's that standing for? Rich Site Summary, or Really Simple Syndication. And that's how you subscribe and get notification about new updates when it comes to pod. Also, it is for blogs, for example, news articles. And we take that for granted. It's the engine in the background that's going on. And now it's debate about this. Like Spotify, for example, has this anchor that they owns, that they said it's no RSS there. It's like exclusive for Spotify, so you don't have to subscribe. That you use it through the app. And in a way, as I said, the user doesn't really care. They want to listen. I don't think about what's going on in the background. But for this open system and for the independent casters and so on, you can get cornered inside. And there, the new media show by Todd and Rob Greenlee, Todd Cochran and Rob Greenlee, had an interesting discourse, and even debate with a guy there. Now I forgot his name, but it was interesting to see what's going on. So that's the throwback. I talked about RSS, and then I said 2 times podcast index, and I then mentioned podcastindex.org, but have a system called, say, value for value. It's almost like trader principle. So they want to support market players, indie podcasters, and not only the big shots, the big players, and so on. And so I for that also. The market will decide, but it's interesting to see that we could keep these open systems. It is easy to start a podcast and also to keep it yourself by yourself, and you decide. And that's the thing. So my advice as a new media advisor, I will really push for having a podcast, because the RSS feed is unique for you, and that you could control compared to other platforms that it's up to their thing. And jumping back and forth here also, I watched Amy Peikoff talking about now a lawsuit by Trump gang, and she discussed that in a very good way for C-SPAN, Washington Journal, that she is for free market and for big business, but not that they should be like an arbitrary and decide what's truth, and starting to deplatforming and censorship, because it has so big impact and power right now. So she is the chief policy officer for Parler, and that then it's up to the users to decide what you want to see, and you could have different filters and so on. And same here in apps. They have rules that don't behave in a civilized way, but other than that, you are as long as you doesn't hurt somebody else or say something that's not true, like then the system could take care of that, like a lawsuit or something that you get a fine or whatnot. But this thing about, for example, in the pandemic situation, that you now have filters by Facebook and others, and also if you say something so-called extreme, that they put the label on that in order to warn others. So that's a dangerous thing. And when we're starting to see also how the government and the state could get the data if they see some so-called suspicious activity. So this is Big Brother, and that could go into like a dictatorship in different ways. So it's important to talk about this. So back again, I was thinking of also mentioning podcast index in Sweden, like .se, and that was created by advertising industry and the big players again, but in radio, public radio, and some commercial radios and so on, but not so many independent podcasters involved. So it was for the advertising group and target to get in ads. So then they had this top list of 100 most popular podcasts, and in the list, most of the podcasts are on the big podcast, how to say, platforms that are run by private commercial radio station from old media, and the Swedish radio, that's a state-owned radio that is paid now by the tax money. You can't choose if you want to listen, watch TV and watch radio without paying tax. It should be so-called neutral or whatnot. But if you do a survey of people working at Sveriges Radio, what kind of glasses, here are black glasses, but what kind of color of glasses do they have? Maybe it's red, like the color red for leftist or left-leaning. So that was 2 podcast index. The podcast index in America.org, that's one to have this open system. And then you have the podcasting index in Sweden that was trying to do this popular podcast list. So that was the throwback and follow up. And I see now 7 people here watching. So thanks for that. And I've been talking about for 10 minutes and the connection is great. And I haven't gotten any donation in or high five or thumbs up or haps, but that could be for some other day. So now I'll run into a call with the co-host here, Karin coach that I have a podcast with called Viktigt på riktigt in Swedish, and that's important, real things. It is important, you could say, in translation. So with that, I say cheerio and thanks for watching, and talk to you soon again. So as a last thing here, if you want an article for free from a latest issue or some other issues, I have like 5 free articles that I could distribute as a subscriber. So please do a shout out or reach out to me if you some article that you're interested to read. I could send it to you. I will see here Warrior Grandma is saying hello Warrior Grandma. Thanks for stopping by, and stick around and come back again soon again and talk. I will do this on Thursday here around 9. It was a bit later because I was up early, as I said, and on then on Saturday I will do a tea drinking party. Cheers. And some other beverage, maybe time for iced tea now. And on Tuesday it's Tuesday Tech at 3 p.m. Central European time. And on Saturday it's after 9 p.m. Central European time, depending on what's going on during the weekend. So that's for now. And again, thanks Warrior Grandma saying hello, and talk to you soon again here out there. 8 people watching live, so thanks for that. And I see here Susanne is doing thumbs up on Facebook, and see here a comment also. I will see. Har rakapparaten tagit semester? Du passade skägg. In Swedish it said has this, what to say, shaver. Taking vacation, you look good in beard. So thanks for that. And other people have said that also, and it's more like a vacation style. Maybe I will have this, as you said, like with you see with Don Johnson and Miami Vice that have 3 days of beard. It's a special shadow, as called, but this is more than that, maybe a week. So I will do that, maybe to shave during the weekend, definitely for next week. But yeah, it's pretty good. So thanks, Susanne, for comment on that. Pysselkvinnan, to do different tinkering and hobby, like I have a toy, or what to say, in clay, with a leopard that I'm doing, and I will do that during my summer break. So thanks again, Susanne, on Facebook for commenting, and thanks again, Warrior Grandma, and see you around and talk to you soon again. Cheers.